So today I'm gonna take you to a Toyota dealership, a Ford dealership, a Jeep dealership, a Kia dealership, and a Nissan dealership to show you what's happening here on the ground level and show you that the car market is hurting right now.
Just 10 years ago, car payments were nearly half of what they are today.
And I'm gonna show you evidence of that today. And what do we know across this car market? Well, the number one problem is price point.
Car payments rose twice as much as overall inflation from 2019 to 2024.
And check this out right here, I'm seeing so much more of this. Here's another vehicle right here you haven't been able to find at all. It's a Prius.
Payments are high, and it's not just because of inflation.
But there's still some very, very bad segments of the market. And I'm gonna show you one. Even one of the cheapest things that Ford provides to its consumers, $10,000 off. So Nissan's CEO just came out and said that they are now in emergency mode. And we're seeing it at these Nissan dealerships. This is a Pathfinder's advertised $6,000 off, advertised $7,000 off. And here we go, the poster child of everything that's wrong in this car market.
Stellantis did it much more aggressively than others. Automakers started raising prices.
We got this 2024 Wrangler, was $51,000, now it's dropped all the way down to $43,000. And we're seeing so much more of this at every dealership lot that I'm going on to, where no longer are you seeing the added whatever, you're seeing prices come down. It's like a market adjustment, but it's a market adjustment for the consumer, and these dealerships are showing it. And you saw that, that's a 2024, right? Well, let's check out this Ram that's right behind it. This Ram truck is a 2025. And this is a situation that a lot of these dealers are having to deal with right now, where yeah, they've got this 2024 sitting on their lot, but right beside it, they got a 2025. And what's coming through the pipeline? More 2025s. So they have to figure out what they can do to get all of these 2024 vehicles off their lot. And here's how they do it. They did charge $51,000, but now, since they have to be in panic mode and get rid of a lot of these vehicles, they gotta take some money off. That's a big discount on a $50,000 vehicle. You're taking $7,000, $8,000 off. That's a big price drop. And I know prices were too high to begin with. I get it, but we're just showing in the market, dealers are pulling some levers to get some of these vehicles off of their floor plan. They need to, because they have 2025s. And here we go, here's a big problem coming out of Ford right now, these big body Broncos. You couldn't find them, right? Couldn't find them. Now you can find them everywhere. And I would guess this one's a 2024. Yep, 2024 Badlands, $67,000. Look, no markups, no add-ons, nothing like that. The dealership's not trying to gouge people here. And I can guarantee if you go into that dealership right now, you're going to be able to get this Bronco for less than MSRP. Not a dealership problem. I mean, you got all these sitting here. Ones where you had to special order or you had to wait for, there's another one sitting over there. We had to wait for those big body Broncos. And then there were markups on top of them. Nope, not anymore. What's Ford doing? Ford's cutting production on them. They're laying off workers associated to people who build them. Not laying them off, but moving them to a different section, because they have to cut back how many they're making. Because these dealers, they can't take any more of them. Hasn't been that long ago, I went to a dealership. Check it out right here. Look at that full line of Broncos. But wait, we got two more right here. But wait, we'll run over here. Another full row of Broncos right there. They had 50 of these big body Broncos. Then I went to another dealership just a few days later, check this out, and they probably had 2025, and they were not a big dealer. They were not a big volume dealer, but they had tons and tons of these Broncos sitting around. The Broncos are a big time problem in this market. It seems like every manufacturer has one big problem, and Ford has a few. Right now, Ford has a problem of F-150s, and they have the problem of all of their EVs, Mach-E's, Ford Lightning. That's a whole nother video. Terrible, terrible decision, stacking up everywhere. And now, the big body Broncos, the Broncos that everyone wanted, now massive, massive problem for Ford. And it's a big, bad situation. I mean, here's a Ford dealer, look at all those F-150s. All those F-150s going down that row. It's a big, bad situation that a lot of these dealers are having to deal with right now, where you have inventory managers that haven't had to be inventory managers in the last 4 years, because consumers will just come buy the stuff. We don't have to manage our inventory. You order it from the factory, or you take in your allocation, and people just buy it. No, now we have to be inventory managers, and we have a 2024 sitting on our lot. And here's the thing, not just 2024s, we have brand new 2023 still sitting on some of these dealer lots. They're celebrating 2 birthdays now. That's a bad, bad scenario for a lot of these dealers if now you have to learn how to be an inventory manager And there's a lot of turnover in a lot of these dealerships. So there's a lot of inventory managers now that have only known one car market. It's been the last 3 or 4 years when your inventory management looked like, okay, well, let's just have some vehicles on the lot and people will buy them. Now you get vehicles on the lot, just like all these F-150s, just like all these F-150s right here, just like all those trucks stacked up, just like all those Jeeps stacked up, and people aren't buying them. Uh-oh, well, that wasn't in the inventory management handbook. What happens when people aren't buying? Well, you gotta lower your freaking prices. They don't know how to do that. They're figuring it out now though. All right, so here's another way that these manufacturers can actually incentivize consumers and what they're having to do right now, especially with the interest rates where they are right now. If they can provide lower interest rates to consumers, they can get that monthly payment down for them. We know that all consumers, almost all consumers, are going to be getting car loans. It's an unfortunate thing. I would rather you pay cash for a car, but most consumers are going to go get that car payment. They're going to go get that auto loan on their vehicle. And when you see that manufacturers or dealers have to put that kind of interest rate savings on the car, then it's just showing you that they have to do added things to get consumers into vehicles. And that's just an easy way for them to do it. It doesn't make a difference either way, whether they take money, they're putting money on the hood as far as taking money off the vehicle for the consumer, or they're adding that special interest rate. Either way, it costs them money, and it's more money that they have to outlay as a manufacturer, as a dealer, to get consumers in cars, and this is not something that they've had to do. And I will show you one thing that I'm seeing happen at a lot of these new franchise dealers, especially right now in a market that we're dealing with right now. This is a Kia dealership, and look all around on the front row. Those are all used vehicles. On the second row, these are all used vehicles. These are places that, I mean, the front of the building's right here, so this should be prime property for their new vehicles. But what we're seeing, and then on that side right there, right in the front, they're also used vehicles. What we're seeing right now, especially that brands that are maybe having a little bit harder time with, I think of Stellantis. I go to a lot of their dealerships a lot, and it looks the exact same there, where, okay, all their new vehicles, they're not really trying to promote. It's their used vehicles, and the reason being is because margins right now, margins are so thin on a lot of these vehicles on the new side, that a lot of times these dealerships, they would rather sell these used vehicles because they make so much more money. Lots of wind coming in. But you think even on these used vehicles, they can sell a lot of their back-end products that they make a lot of money on, but they're also going to make a lot of margin on their used side, because all these vehicles that they traded for or they got at auction, they didn't pay a whole lot for it. They can mark those up a lot more than what they can mark up, or they can't really mark up their new vehicles at all. They have a set price that the MSRP comes out. But on used vehicles, they can charge whatever they want to for those. So they're leaning more into that, and it's better for the dealership's profit right now, because they can make so much more on a used vehicle than they can a new. So throughout this video, I've been talking about how much the market has come down, and all the good things that I'm seeing in the market right now, where dealers are taking money off their new vehicles, where you're not seeing any add-ons anymore, where you can negotiate under MSRP. But there's still some very, very bad segments of the market. And I'm gonna show you one. All right, here's a 2017 Toyota Tacoma. And I wanna show you what's going on here. This one, 2027 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road, very popular truck, right? So it's got 212,000 miles. Price on it's $20,000. $20,000 for a truck that's got over 200,000 miles. There's still some bad pockets in this car market. I recognize that. I understand it. If you think prices aren't coming down, you go onto a lot like this, that's the first truck you see, and then you get in your car and take off. I understand it. I get it. And you keep telling me prices aren't coming down, because you, in that situation, are absolutely right. So in a note from Nissan to their dealer body, they said to them, okay, we would ask for your patience and your understanding. And really, if I was a Nissan dealer, if I was this franchise dealer right here, which I really like, I think they're a great dealer, never did any add-ons, I think they treat people fairly, great dealership, I love this dealership. But if I was this franchise owner right here, it's almost like a spit in the face, right? Because they have all these products, they have production, these vehicles that have gotten to them in a very short amount of time, It's going onto their floor plan, and then they have limited help that has come from Nissan over the last year that's led to this stack up of a production problem here at a lot of these dealerships, which has led to a lot of them turning down allocations, which is now hurting Nissan the company. But if Nissan in the first place would have came out with incentives, they would have came out helping a lot of these dealers move this metal, then we wouldn't be in the situation, there's a lot of wind, we would not be in the situation that we're facing right now. And I'm at this Nissan dealership, and everything that I say about Nissan, we covered Nissan quite a bit because of the struggles that they're going through. It's nothing that that these Nissan dealer employees, these franchise managers, these owners, it's nothing that they don't know already. They see the numbers coming in their dealership. They know things are slower right now, and they're seeing that they're having more vehicles at the lots than they've been used to over the last 12 months. So here's the thing, it's not a dealership problem. And I know because I'm standing on a good dealership right now. This dealership never charged any market up adjustments during all the crazy time. They don't charge nitrogen. I mean, you can't. It's very hard for you to find a dealership that doesn't charge any add-ons. And then on top of that, you saw $6,000 and $7,000 off of that Pathfinder back there. They advertise lower prices than what even MSRP is on their stickers. You don't find that at a lot of dealerships. This is a great dealership, and still, even a dealership like this, it's slower, it's harder. I've talked to their salespeople, I've talked to their managers. It's slower right now, it's rough. And it's going to be something that continues to get slower, in my opinion, if Nissan doesn't step in and do the right things that they need to do, add the right incentive packages, adds the right kind of warranties to cars to change the perception. If Nissan's not worried about their CVT transmissions, if they're not worried about the longevity of their cars, then they have to make it to where the customer doesn't have to worry about it either. And what you have to do is you have to put your money where your mouth is. And in the manufacturer's case, that's in the form of warranties. We've seen it before. Hyundai Kia a long time ago, they had there was concern about the cheapness of their cars, and they had some of the longest warranties that you could find on the market for a time, and that really helped the perception of the quality of their cars. And a manufacturer like Nissan right now, I mean, they might have to look at something like that. They have to add special incentive rates. They have to take money. They have to put money on the hood. They got to help dealers. They got to help consumers. That's the only way it's going to work. And that Nissan dealership back there, I actually know the franchise manager. And last time I talked to him, I said, well, where are you making your money at? And he said, well, it's not on new vehicles. It's on service. It's on your dock fees. It's on your used vehicles. He said he would much rather have a used vehicle because we can go and trade for it, and that's where he's going to make his money, is when he goes and trades for those vehicles and is able to get a really good deal on them. But new vehicles was not even top of the list, and this is what traditionally would occur in a car market, is where I hear Ray from Car Edge talk about this a lot. He was a franchise manager for many, many, many years. Your new vehicles are really a loss leader for the dealership in a lot of cases, and it hasn't been that case over the last 3 or 4 years because dealerships were getting MSRP on these vehicles. You couldn't do that traditionally. If somebody was paying MSRP, then all the salespeople would be they'll be high-fiving each other because they just got a sucker, right? Sucker pays MSRP. But everyone was paying that, and in most cases, more than that. They were paying all the add-ons, everything like that, so dealerships were able to make a lot of money off their new vehicles. But fast forward to now, it's not the case. Everything that you can buy, you can get for 10, 15% under MSRP right now if you know how to negotiate. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, I'm not seeing prices come down where I am, because you're just going to go look at MSRP stickers. The MSRPs aren't coming down, but if you're not seeing prices come down after you get done with sitting at the table with the salespeople, then it's because you don't know how to negotiate. So that's usually my response to all the people that think prices aren't coming down. It's just because you're either lazy, you're not going out and trying to get yourself a good deal, or you're just really bad at negotiating, which is it's okay, it's fine. But just so you know, prices are coming down. 12 months ago, 18 months ago, dealer markups of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 off a lot of these vehicles, and now you can go in and get 10%, 15% off of MSRP. It's flipped that much in just a 12-month period. Prices are coming down. Yeah, they're probably not as low as you want them to be, but absolutely, they have come down in the last 12 months.